So here we are in our fourth episode of our podcast,
Yep.
Life in Dallas. We've been traveling for the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I'm sure there are many things on our mind that we want to talk about. So
Yep.
today I thought I wanted to ask you about hobbies.
Okay, that's fun.
And it is something that, I've been struggling with because I don't really have something that I really enjoy doing. So for the last 18 years of our marriage, I think I rarely venture into an interest or a hobby that I really like, especially after the kids came along. And I know a lot of my mommy friends struggle with the same situation as well, where when kids come along, we are occupied with taking care of their schedule, their food, the responsibility of work, balancing household
Yep.
responsibilities. So it was really something that I struggled with. And I know for you, you've always had your hobbies.
Yeah.
Right? So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What are hobbies to you?
What is actually hobbies to you, leh? What do you think hobbies are?
I think it's something that you like, that you enjoy doing. For me, a hobby would be personal. I don't need to do a hobby with everybody else, right? But of course, if the hobby leads me to socializing and meeting new friends,
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Hence, I always struggled with that. I don't really know what I enjoy doing.
Right. For me, hobby is very different. Hobby is I don't necessarily have to enjoy it.
You don't
No,
have to enjoy it,
I don't.
okay?
Hobby for me is I'm intrigued by something that I want to learn, something new. So when I do aquascaping, I wanted to know how to
Okay, what is aquascaping? I'm sure
basically.
some would know, some would not.
That's right.
I don't until I met you
No.
doing aquascaping.
Yeah. Aquascaping is basically just trying to keep your tank with plants, with live plants, in a whole ecosystem way, with some fish, of course. I did that because I want to learn how to do it. So I'm more excited about learning how to do it than liking it. Am I making sense?
Okay, so hobby, it's learning a new skill.
Yeah, for me it is.
So what happens after you master that skill?
That's the biggest problem. I think I will lose interest very quickly after I've mastered, like, I've maintained the tank, it's clean, the fish are not dying, the plants are growing healthily. Yeah, so I move on quite quickly after that. To me, that's hobby.
Okay, let's talk about what other hobbies have you ventured into? In the last 18 years that we've been married,
That's
I would say you have quite a few, right?
some state. Not everything's
Okay,
gone.
what are some of the hobbies that stayed?
I guess like painting. Painting is not like a hobby. I guess when we were younger, it was hobby. And then after that, it became something that is a tool for me to communicate my thoughts, my design space, that actually becomes a business. So that state. Plants because I wanted to know how to take care of plants because I didn't know how to do it. So when I finally have plants, then and it didn't die, it kind of like excite me. So I want to learn. Actually, more hobby for me is more curiosity than liking.
So what does that do to you? All these different things you are learning, emotionally or mentally, what transformation does it do for you? If you could try and explain it to some of us here who struggle with even finding a hobby.
I think mainly, right, to me it energizes me because I'm learning something new more than anything else. So yeah, I don't have to particularly like it.
Do you feel good about yourself after that? Do you feel like you have more conversations that you could have with different people? Do you like, what is it?
This is turning into like a you interviewing me.
Because I'm trying to figure out what should my hobby be. Because so I am someone who's goal oriented. If I have a hobby, I need to get something out of it.
Yeah,
Right?
I think I get something out of it.
What? What is it?
I don't know. I'm happy. I learn about plants, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the other day, we a friend of us brought us to our first go kart experience.
Yeah.
And it was something I think we shared as a good memory, and discovering it's something that we're both interested in at the same time. Right?
Yeah, that's nice.
So for me, this experiencing that was something new for me to realize, hey, actually, there are many things that could become my hobby. And I remember growing up, I love cars.
Yes.
That's how we connected, right? We
Yep.
talk about Ferraris, and it was my dream to own a Ferrari. So I always loved cars, and life happened. I stopped looking at cars. I stopped talking about it, and overwhelmed with responsibilities. And to be able to sit in that go kart and to slam on the gas and like have that feeling of flying, it was something exciting for me that I realized for a long time I've not had that feeling. So maybe for me, if I were to consider a new hobby, it would be something that I'm really interested in when I was younger. So maybe go-karting could be something
Yeah,
we could
why
adopt
not?
as a new hobby.
I thought you liked it, and you were quite good in it too. So I think that's fun. Something we can do together as a family. Our sons like it.
And not just that, I remember the conversations that we had after the go-kart experience. We started looking at cars, right? And cars was something that we talked about a lot when we started dating. So I guess in every life transition, it's important for us to discover ourselves again through hobbies.
Yeah.
So for me, that's how I see it.
yeah.
And many of the people that talk to me, I talk to couples all day, every day. One or both of the couples, sometimes when work becomes overwhelming,
Yeah.
when the kids are all over the place, the first thing we give up is actually our own space
Yeah.
for exploration, for hobby. And I begin to realize how important that is, especially when we're growing old, when
The
after a while
older.
kids older,
Uh-huh.
when kids are going off to college, to universities, we're gonna have a lot more time
Yep.
to ourselves. Then what happens? I don't want to get to that place where I feel lost when I have all this time right now to do whatever I really wanted to do, and I don't know where to begin.
Yeah, I think maybe hobbies in the past is like, oh, do it in your free time. But for me, hobby is really something that I want to discover something about myself or something that I never knew before. Like for example, running. Running became a big part of our lives. But I cannot particularly say I like running because I think it's very tough. Malaysia is so humid, and we always have to find time. Either we have to wake up very early in the morning or run in the evening, and then we have to get ready dinner for the kids and everything. But it's a discovering what happened or what you can do, what you cannot do, or how you achieve your goal in that running that, to me, that it spurs me on. So I think hobby has actually far deeper work in us than we actually imagine. In the past, maybe hobbies are like collecting stamps and old coins, but these days so many things can be something that spurs us on to learn, to discover more about ourselves. So I guess perhaps go-karting.
Yeah. So for those of them who struggle with finding something they love doing as maybe as an individual or
Yep.
a couple, what's the starting point for them? Where should they start figuring this hobby thing out?
I guess you're right. We start from what we like first.
Okay?
Okay, something that
Like my first experience of discovering, hey, cars was that thing for me.
yeah, or try as many different things as possible. Don't be too uptight about trying one thing. And sometimes I think we will like something because we feel like we're naturally good at it. Like when you start go-karting, you realize you were not the last one, for example. You start beating other people. Wow, maybe something that you want to develop. So try as many as possible, and then see how it goes. And what it does to you maybe makes you happier, makes you more relaxed, makes you feel like, oh, it is something that I can explore. And who knows, maybe that hobby can become an entire new season in your life that you are focusing on that more than anything else.
Okay, so with discovering new hobbies,
Yep.
I guess that brings out a different side of a person,
Yeah.
right? And in return, that changes their perspective to life, the dynamics of their relationships, the overall well-being
Yes.
of who they are, right?
Yeah,
In every area of their life. So I can see there's a lot of benefits to it.
Okay.
So most of the time, I think it's always the excuse that we tell ourselves, oh, I
Yeah,
just
no,
don't
no.
have time for
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right? I don't have time for it. How do I find time for it?
Yeah.
So what are your last thoughts on that?
I think the moment we say we do a hobby and it excites us, it accelerates us, and after that you are more energetic, you realize that you're way better in control of your time and your energy, that actually spurs you on to do even more. I think that would be a very big benefit of actually a hobby. A hobby is something that you can do together with your loved ones, build relationship, increase communication, and I think actually not many people talk about hobbies, but I'm very surprised and I'm very intrigued that we talk about this today. That I believe is going to help a lot of people. Maybe you should share what are some of the hobbies that you like, that you find it fulfilling and you enjoy doing.
And if you are someone like me who struggle with hobbies, start from what are things that you really love, right? And if you really prioritize your own well-being, especially in terms of how you find time to do fun things
Yep.
for yourself, that's a good start.
Yeah. All right. Hope you enjoyed this small episode on hobbies. Trust that you're going to have a great time discovering that. Enjoy and have fun.
If this content has been helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to
That's
our channel.
right. That's right. See ya.